Buy 10 doors in one closing. That pitch is everywhere right now. Wholesalers, bus tour operators, Instagram gurus, all selling you a Detroit package deal. Now, some of those packages are generally good, and most of them are good properties wrapped around one bad one, sold at a blended price so you don't look too closely at any single address. Today, I'm showing you exactly how to tell the difference, the math, the two landmines that catch almost every out of state buyer, and how I personally underwrite a portfolio of Ferndale. Last episode, I mapped out the four zones where Detroit money is moving. This episode is the one a lot of you asked for, package deals. And keep in mind, I get package deals that come across my desk from other investors and sellers all the time. So if that's something that you want to do, you can always DM me. You can text me at 248-952-8547. I'd love to help you. Now, what a package deal actually is a row. A package deal is simply multiple properties sold together in one transaction, usually from one seller who is exiting, a landlord retiring, and is an estate and out-of-state owner tired of managing from a distance. Now, Detroit produces an unusual number of these because of how the market is built. Entry prices are low enough that an individual landlord can accumulate 8, 10, 20 doors without institutional money. When that landlord is ready to sell, bundling the whole portfolio is faster than listing each house one at a time, for them and for the buyer. That's the appeal. One closing, one title company, one set of paperwork, instant scale. It is also exactly why these deals hide problems well. A portfolio is only as strong as its weakest address, and weak addresses are easy to bury inside a blended price. Here's a real listing pattern I'm seeing right now in Dexter Linwood. A two-unit building, each unit renting around $900 a month, long-term tenants in place. That's $21,600 a year in gross rent on a property that in this neighborhood is realistically priced in the low to mid six figures, depending on condition. Now you run that math across six or eight property package and the headline cap rate looks outstanding. Citywide, single-family rentals in Detroit are trading at gross cap rates in the 10 to 15% range in a lot of zip codes. Numbers you simply cannot find in Atlanta or Nashville anymore. But that's the gross number. That's before you take out your expenses. Budget real vacancy 8 to 12% in Detroit proper rentals and real maintenance reserves 20 to 25% of gross rent on older housing stock. What that means is that you have to set aside money to be able to make your maintenance over time. And you want to do that from the money that you're getting from your rentals. Your net cap rate is still strong. That means after all your expenses, what you still hold over, that's your net. And it's still strong. It's also meaningfully lower than the number on the flyer. If a seller or wholesaler quotes you one cap rate and won't walk you through the vacancy and reserves to get there, that's your first red flag, not your last. This is the one that catches almost every buyer who hasn't closed a Detroit deal before. Every rental property in the city outside of owner-occupied single-family homes is required to carry a valid certificate of compliance from the city's Buildings, Safety, Engineering, and Environmental Department. Without it, collecting rent on that unit is not technically legal, and the city issues roughly 2,000 blight and compliance violations a month citywide. For years, the city itself estimated only 5 to 10% of landlords were actually compliant. Detroit simplified the process with their 15-point inspection to fix that, but it is still trips up the buyers constantly. Here's the part that matters most for a package deal specifically. Registration is not the same thing as compliance. A property can show up in the city system as registered and still fail inspection. And when a property already has a valid certificate of compliance, that certificate does not automatically transfer to you. You have to register yourself as a new owner the moment you close, or you inherit blight tickets and a compliance headache before you've collected your first month's rent. When I underwrite a package, I pull compliance status on every single address, not the portfolio average. One non-compliant unit out of 8 doesn't sink the deal. It just needs to be priced and timed like what it is, a repair and register project, not a turnkey rental. And a lot of things come up along the way that may require to be creative, and maybe you might have to break up those packages in certain ways. But there's always a solution to any problem that comes up. We just have to work together to find it. Now, Michigan has a quirk in how property taxes work, and it catches more package deal buyers than almost anything else. Under Proposal A, a property's taxable value is capped while the same owner holds it, which is exactly why a seller who has owned it for 15 years can show you a tax bill that looks artificially low. The moment the property sells, that cap resets. Your taxable value uncaps to the current assessed value the following year, and your real tax bill can land well above what the seller's numbers showed you. On a single house, that's a line item surprise. Across an 8 or 10 property package, that an uncapping miss can quietly erase a meaningful chunk of the cash flow you underwrote on. Model your tax line using the post-sale assessed value, not the seller's current bill, on every property in the package every time. And you can get those values usually from any title company that you work with. Our title company that I work with is First Choice Title, who's excellent at what they do, especially when it comes to larger package deals and short sales deals. 3, 2, 1. You don't need to finance 10 doors with 10 separate mortgages. DSCR portfolio loans, sometimes called blanket loans, let you finance multiple properties under one note, qualifying calling off the income the properties produce rather than your personal tax returns. The lender is also doing the same math you should already be doing. The net operating income divided by your total debt payment. A package that brings in, say, $7,500 a month in verified rent against a $5,500 monthly payment is sitting around the 1.3 debt service coverage ratio. Most portfolio lenders want to see you comfortably above 1.0, and the stronger that number, the better your pricing. Most Michigan investors hold these properties inside an LLC. Cheap to do here, so it's about $50 to form and $25 a year to maintain. And once you're past 4 or 5 doors, a lot of operators move to a parent holding company structure on top of individual property LLCs. You want to talk to a real estate attorney before you scale past your first few properties, not after. And this is very important because sometimes the timing requirements in these structures might overlap when you get them. So you want to make sure you're able to plan uh, both with your tax attorney and your real estate attorney how you want to scale if you decide to scale up that way. But a little quick hint, under 4 properties is usually something that's not considered commercial. So under 4 properties, you might not necessarily need to have all that assistance. But above that, you're going to want to talk to someone and be in conversation with them, even on your journey towards that. So when you get close to that point, you at least understand what your options are. And this is where I can come in and help you with that. 3, 2, 1. Before I let a client wire earnest money on a package deal, every address on that list gets the same 4 questions. Compliance status, individually, not the portfolio average. Net cap rate after realistic vacancy and maintenance reserve, not the gross number on the flyer. Post-sale uncapped tax estimate, not the seller's current bill and the actual rent roll with lease dates and payment history, not market rent projections for vacant units. You want to run every property in the package through those 4 filters, and the good packages separate themselves from the ones built to move a problem property off someone else's books. That's the whole job. If you're looking at a portfolio right now and you want a second set of eyes on it before you commit, that's exactly the kind of call I take. My brokerage is Simply Home in Ferndale. The number is 248-952-8547. I'll walk the addresses with you, compliance, taxes, and real numbers before you ever wire a deposit. You're going to want to subscribe and hit the bell so you can catch next week's episode, and I'll see you in the next one.